There we go. Okay. Now, the other piece is we have to keep looking back and forth to the picture. So that's why I put it just on the reasons to begin with. So then you're not writing while I'm trying to flip back and forth. The first statement says 1 is congruent to 5. So I go over to my picture and I'm like, okay, how are 1 and 5 related to each other? We remember all of our relations between angles and they're corresponding. So I know 1 and 5 are corresponding, so they're congruent. And so I write my theorem, if lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent. Next, I look at 5 and 8, and 5 and 8 are, these are vertical angles. And I don't need if lines are parallel because I don't have any parallel lines here. They're just made by lines M and R, and so I don't need any parallel lines. They're just good as they are. So you just write vertical angles are congruent. Now for number 4, I could argue a couple different answers here. What I did is I just looked at what was given to me through the statements, and I was like, okay, I had 1 is congruent to 5, and then 5 is congruent to 8. So I crossed off my 5s, and I had 1 is congruent to 8. So I called that transitive property. Now, that being said, I had kids in my other class who went to their picture and they're like, okay, how are 1 and 8 related? And they're like, oh, we know that one. They're alternate exterior angles. And so you could also have written, if lines are parallel, then alternate exterior angles are congruent. That is a fine thing to have written as well. So what I did is I just used the statements above to do transitive, but you could have looked at the picture and visibly seen what the relationship was. Then it tells me the other given, which is fine. That was easy. Now it has 8 and 16 are congruent. So I got to go look at 8 and 16. I'm going to erase some of this crazy stuff. 8 and 16, those are corresponding because they're in the same place again. They're both below the lines that they're parallel. And then they're to the right of the transversal. So that means that they're in the same place corresponding. So I already wrote this sentence, but I write it again. If lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent. And then last, 1 and 16. Now this one, you can't look at your picture and decide how they're related. 1 and 16, there is no relationship between them. They're between 4 different lines and we don't have a name for that. Instead, if I look at all my statements above, I've got 1 is congruent to 8, 8 is congruent to 16. So if both 1 and 16 are congruent to 8, I can cross off 8 and go directly to 1 and 16 are congruent to each other. And that is transitive. So the last one for sure has to be transitive. I'm going to give you a hint. A lot of these are transitive properties. A lot of them are transitive. So if you haven't used transitive or substitution in terms of a supplementary one, then you did something wrong. So a lot of these we have to use transitive property. Does that help a little bit, Sterling? Yeah, okay. Good. Another hint I gave another class is if you physically covered up all the reasons, your work on the left side, all the statements should be self-explanatory. Those should all be math things. The reasons are just us justifying and telling why you did what you did, but there's no math on those sides. Also, there's no words on the left side. There's no given or prove on the left side. Those all math stuff. All right, let's look at the last one. Most people liked this one better because it had the reasons given, and so we had to identify the statements. And I think a lot of us thought that was easier. Usually on quizzes and tests, I give you kind of a mixture of both. I will always tell you how many steps it is, though, so you know when to stop. How do we feel on this part? Pretty good? Somebody in another class asked me, is it okay if I had written angle 5 is congruent to angle 1? Yeah, you're allowed to switch them. It's commutative property. You're allowed to switch them between each other. That's fine. All right, moving on. All right, let's finish this back page first. So I'm going to this sheet now. We're going to do 13, 14, and 15 on this sheet. I've got a lot of work. You don't necessarily have to show me all that work. What I did is I physically set up each of my equations. If I did 2 angles added together plus x equals 180, I physically showed that. So you don't necessarily have to show me that much work, but you do need to clearly show me what angle measures are what. So here, I have mine highlighted right there. Got a lot of drawing all over this picture. And then I'll zoom out a little bit so you can also see 14. The one thing I keep saying in all my classes is that you can't forget something that we did before. So you need to use vertical angles in that number 13 in order to find angle 4. We did vertical angles back in chapter 1. You just like cannot forget anything. It always comes back. It sounds like a threat, but it's not. It's just reality. Like that's just what geometry is. We keep building on it. And if we don't remember the old stuff, then we don't have any tools for us now. Any questions on these first two that you see on this page? All right, should I go down to 15? All right, this one says 2 angles of a triangle are 53 and 39. What's the measure of the largest exterior angle? What I have going on here is a triangle. I knew that 2 of the angles were 53 and 39, so I knew that the other one was 88. And then I found all their exterior angles by adding the 2 remote interior. So to find like 127, I added 39 and 88. And to find like this 92, I guess I added those 2 together. A reason I know, and then to find the 144, 141, I added these remote interior together. Charlie, question?
Yeah, okay, so I like switched up to 92 and 88.
I think that we'll have to switch them back because we know that all the sum of the interior angles must add to 180. So if it was 92, that would be a problem. Now it asks us what's the biggest exterior angle. I found all 3. You didn't even have to do that. You just had to find the one with the smallest interior angle. All of these are supplementary. Those are supplementary. That means they add to 180. These are supplementary. They add to 180. And so are these. I didn't have to find all of them. I could have just found this one right here because if it's the smallest inside angle, that will give me the biggest outside angle or the biggest supplementary angle. Does that make sense? You could have found all of them and be like, oh, 141 is the biggest, but I said the largest exterior angle will be 141 and it is adjacent to the 39. That is the smallest triangle or angle in the triangle and thus has the biggest exterior angle. You don't need to write a paragraph like I did, but I'm just explaining my thought. The biggest exterior angle goes with the smallest interior angle. Okay, thoughts, questions, concerns, backside? Should we flip to the front? All right, let's go. All right, again, there's a lot of work here, so I'm not necessarily showing it to you, but I do have all my answers highlighted. So I'm looking at 1, 2, 4, and 5 right now. 1, 2, 4, and 5. Any questions? Any thoughts? Yeah, Maggie? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about number 4. 4, 5, and 6 are all very similar. What happens here is that we have to use the other triangle to solve the second triangle. In order to do that, first I got to find the easiest angle. So on this one in number 4, I have 28, 85, and then x. We can easily add those up, minus from 180, and get what x is. Once I find that x is 67, I know that x and y are a linear pair. Linear pairs add to 180. So if I had x was 67, minus that from 180, and I can get y. Once I have y, then I have 17, 113, and then z. And then again, I can add those up and subtract from 180. What a lot of people did is they knew how to get x, but then they didn't know how to get the y, and then they couldn't find the z. So use the linear pair idea in order to figure out what your like connecting angle is, and then it'll be easy on both of the other sides. Griffin?
So if you do the, on number 5, if you get z,
Mm-hmm.
then you get y.
Yep, very good. Yeah, just because they're labeled X, Y, Z doesn't mean that's the order we should solve them in. Do whatever is easiest first. And then that one, it was Z. All right, I'm going to scoot over so you can see 2 and 5 still, but we're also going to look at 3 and 6. So now you can see 2 and 5 and 3 and 6. All right, should I keep going? All right, I'm gonna keep moving. All right, here's 7. Ooh, I cannot zoom today for my life. Okay. Oh, and a bonus 8. Perfect. We can see 7 and 8 right here. This is using remote interior and exterior angle idea. Finding angles. That number 8 is like the very last one we did in class yesterday. The like corollary to the triangle angle sum theorem. Questions so far? Keep moving? Or do you need a second? Yeah?
Can you go over number 8 actually?
Uh-huh. So number 8 is 8x plus 2 and 9x plus 3 are my acute angles in a right triangle. And so I know that together those add to be 90. You also could have added those two plus 90 equals 180. That's also okay. And you would have gotten the same answer. And so I had to like combine my like terms, simplified, solve, get x. Now we can see 9 as well. So I'll keep 8 and 7 up, and now we can see 9 as well. I do think 10 was the hardest, and a lot of people struggled with 11 and 12. So I will for sure talk about those in a second. But I think 1 through 9 were pretty simple once you figured it out. A lot of this is just adding to 90 or adding to 180, using your remote interior angles, using your idea of linear pairs, all that stuff. I want to go slowly through this homework because I really want us to get this for the quiz tomorrow. So that's why I'm not rushing. All right, I'm going to move up a little bit so we can see 10. What's happening on 10 is it says ED is perpendicular to CB and ED bisects CDB. So we had to read that in order to kind of know what's going on here. If ED is perpendicular to CB, that means I've got right angles right there. ED also bisects CDB, which is this angle right here. That means that these two angles are congruent to each other. Bisect means split into two congruent parts. So I knew that this angle right here was 1/2 x, that's this angle. So if that's 1/2 x, then it's the one it's bisected with that is also congruent, that is also 1/2 x. I was given that that angle at C is 2x, and I've got a nice little triangle in there. 2x, 90, and 1/2 x, and I can solve for x. And I did 2x plus 1/2 x equals 90 because it was a little right triangle. I added my like terms together, and I got x equals 36. Once I found x is 36, I plugged that in, and I have to find this angle all the way over here. I have to find the angle I labeled y. I have to find this guy right here. In order to do that, I had to figure out what all my other angles were. I found out that angle, the 1/2 x was 18 for both of them. And I found out that the angle called 2x was 72. You can do this one of two ways, but I'm going to use remote interior angles to solve this. If I want to think about this triangle right here, I can think of the remote interior angles to 90 as being, the remote interior angles to y as being 90 and being 1/2 x. So I could do 90 plus 1/2 x, which is 18, and that equals this angle y. Maggie?
Well, since we're corresponding, wouldn't it just be
There's no corresponding angles. You're kind of thinking if it's like, this is an isosceles triangle, so technically this angle right here is 72, but I want the exterior next to it. So you could use that idea and then minus 72 from 180, that also works. So there's a couple ways we can get to that answer. And the answer for y is 108. Good. So I added 90 and 18. You also could have added 72 and 36. So if I didn't want to think about the small triangle, I wanted to think about the big triangle. I know that this angle over here is 72. And I know that this angle right here is 18 plus 18, which is 36. So there's a ton of ways that you can get to the answer of 108. Cool. All right, let me get rid of some of that nonsense before next period. That's good enough. All right, we have 2 more to look at. Are we ready to move on? Yep, awesome. Okay, so I've got the measure of each angle in an isosceles right triangle. We haven't necessarily done triangles in depth yet, but I know that you guys know what an isosceles triangle is, or it's maybe been a while, but an isosceles triangle has 2 sides that are the same, and it's right, so that means that I've got a right angle. If the 2 sides are the same, then the 2 base angles are the same. Then I can add them up, set them equal to 90 and solve. So 2x plus equals 90, x equals 45. In order for that to be a right triangle and for those angles to be the same, they must be 45. Number 2 caused some problems for people. It says the ratio between the measures of an acute angle and a right triangle is 2 to 3. We've done ratios a little bit, and I know that you've done them before. You probably just haven't thought about them since like middle school. 2 to 3 means that you're doing like 2 times something and 3 times something. And in this case, we don't know what that something is, so we use x. So I label my angles 2x and 3x because that's how they're related. If I were to simplify it all the way down, it'd be like 2 to 3. 2 times something, 3 times something. Once I solve for x is 18, I know that my angles are now 36 and 54. And if I wasn't sure, add them up and see if they equal 90. And they do. All right, that's the last problem that we went over on homework. Are there any more questions? Okay, if you have it on your iPad, please submit it to Schoology. If you have it on paper, I'm gonna come get it. And then I'm gonna pass this all out review sheets. We are all doing a review on paper today, okay? We're gonna actually play a game with review, which is new for me, but we're gonna try something new today. We're gonna get into small groups of 2 or 3 or 4. So once I give you a paper, swivel your desk to get in groups of 2, 3, or 4, okay? And then I'll give you more directions in a second. All right, so swivel your desk, swivel your bodies, get in groups. All right, who's in the group? Kevin. Oh, rude. Who else is in the group? Shirley. I have 5 balls, so I can have 5 groups. Who else is in the group? Oh, sorry. Ellie and Maggie. And then Griffin, do you have a group? Group, yeah, okay. So do you have a group? Sure. You got it. Jean, do you have a group? Do you guys want to be a group of 4? Sure, why not? Groups aren't that deep. Or you can come over here and work with Griffin. Or if they're with Allie and Meg. There's a lot of options. You can do wherever you want. Okay. We're playing basketball. I don't know how you played it before, but this is how I'm going to play it. Everyone has their own worksheet, and this is due when you have your quiz, which is tomorrow. So we're going to work on this, and we're going to check our answers as we go. flip to page 2 really quick and cross out number 12. I meant to cut that out, cross out number 12. Oh shoot, I gave you the wrong paper. Wait, give that back to me. I gave you your quiz. I gave you the quiz for A period. Can you guys erase your name off of it? I didn't use that for A period. Oh no! You're like, what is this? Here is your review. Okay. You're gonna get different versions tomorrow. But woo, that's awkward. Erase your name, please. It's gonna be so awkward when I have to tell A period that there's an erase one on there. All right. Okay. Now flip. Once you get your paper, now flip to page 2 and cross off number 12. Wow, that's awkward. There's too many papers to keep track of today. Guys, everyone have their name erased? Did I give everyone? Oh, Michael, I missed you. Sorry, I'll be back. Okay, flip to page 2 and cross out number 12. Then I want you to go to the proof part, and you only have to do 4 of the proofs. So there are a total of 7 proofs. You have to do 4 proofs. That's 12. Yeah, cross out 12. Now you guys have 12. Oh, that was bad. Okay, page 2, cross out 12. Page 3, do you see there's a proof at the top of page 3? And then do you see on page 4 and 5 there are 6 proofs?
Yeah.
You only have to do 4 of them. There's a total of 7 proofs in this packet. You only have to do 4 of them. So maybe just write that somewhere. Only 4. Only 4. All right, now that we're wow, that was real bad. Thank God I didn't do that with you. That would not have gone smooth. Thank God I made that mistake with you guys. You're easy to fix that mistake with. Okay. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna tell you certain problems that I want you to do, and once you finish them, you can check with your group. You're gonna bring it to me, and I'm gonna check. If you get it right, you get a point, and you get a chance to shoot. Any of them. So I'll tell you which ones I want to start with. So you all get a point for getting it right, but then after that, it's how many points you get when you shoot. So right here, so the trash can is 1. I can literally drop it in. It's easy. Here, so the trash can is 2. Here is 3, and I don't have 4 because I didn't feel like it. And we'll shoot you guys back a little bit. 5 is if you stand against the radiator. You make that. Okay. Where I do want you to start is I want you to start on page 3 in this big box. That's where I want you to start, right here in this big box. Yep, you can prep it, you can work with friends, you can divide and conquer. You need a statement, you need an equation, and you need an answer to solve.
Which one?
All of them. So that was good, you're just working independently. When you have one, bring it to me.
Wait.
Every question you get checked.
Okay.
I think, okay. It's not a speed race, it's it is money function and then as correctly as possible race. So JJ, you're working on the study guide, which looks like this. It looks like this in your Schoology page. And then tomorrow. So I'm going to post a key. I'm going to do it right now while I'm thinking about it. And you're just, if you have any questions, let me know. If not, you're free to work. You got to come to me. I'm not coming to you. Oh, you did the proof. Okay. Nope, no, I went the box, but that's all right. I'll check a proof. Your reason for number 3 is wrong. Alternate interior versus ground. Yep, point and shot.
Okay. What should we keep up?
Yep, point and shot.
Okay.
Where do we put points?
I'll put them right here. Okay.
Where do we shoot? From whatever.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Did you make yours? Yeah. 2. You guys, you did a 2-pointer? Yeah. Okay. You got a point for doing it right there. There you go.
I looked at the wrong one.
That's okay.
It's number 3, right?
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yes, but I need a reason. You need like equals or parallel.
So if I write that, like,
Yep. You shoot wherever. Did you make it?
yeah.
Where'd you shoot from? 3? Yeah. I'll put 1 bonus point on the table. I do like to do this. I want to do this more often because I want us to get more motivated during reviews. Because reviews have not gone well. So I'm trying something new. Oh, close, Gavin. I had a lot of people get 5 yesterday, so you guys might get this. Those are not subs. The math is, or they're not linear pairs. The math is right, and they are subs, but they're not linear pairs. I need to an equation set up, and I want to solve for x.
Oh, so just
But your statement's right. Segment here is a sub. Yep. Point. Stop.
Underhand, it's easier.
Oh. You put in your best effort. I haven't checked it yet. That's perfect. Are you on a team by yourself? Or are you with Griffin? Sure, be with Griffin. Here's a point. You guys get to shoot. Griffin has the ball. Nice. There you go. Ooh. Yeah. Which one are you doing? The second one? If lines are parallel, then consecutive interior angles are supplementary. Yep. Point and shot.
Nope.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Behind you. Yes, I just gave Sarah a point for that one. So now I want to
Allie,
see if I
you got
can
2.
help. 2 Maggie?
Yeah. Okay.
So I just gave her a point for that. So then, like, next, yeah, you work on different ones. Linear pairs are sub. You might need to do something before they're allowed to be linear on that one. You might need a second statement. Or they might not be linear. None of them are straight linear on that page.
Well, what's this?
You did this one. Okay, perfect. Yeah, good. Yep, point and shot. A little high.
Corresponding. Corresponding is like, because it's the same thing as these. Corresponding is like, right there and right. Whatever these things are, they're linear. Like if this moves right here, whatever, it's one place right here. That's the same thing. Well, like I'm saying, if this moves, then right
Good job,
there.
point.
So we should.
I'm gonna give you a point, you get to shoot.
It's a good
Yep, point shot.
Yo, Abby.
Sure.
I got an extra. What's 144 divided by 3? 48. Okay. I think they're. You make
Did you make it? A 3?
That's why my name, I
I knew that. The other Abby in my other class has an E in it. That's pretty close. This one? They're not vertical angles and they're not congruent. This one is actually like this angle over here, not like the one across. Okay. So you may have given two statements on that one. Okay.
See, I was real.
It's an alternate.
I even knew that and I just took I have terrible memory.
I don't know.
Remember? So you said, is it like repeated?
It's,
All text equals
the answer won't be repeating. You should have two, you gotta move one of the angles and then you're gonna have a relationship.
Okay, but I'm saying like, you said like.
I did it like 3 years before.
Yeah.
So where's that right now?
So which is 3x.
Well, it's not,
Geometry.
I don't think it's where you think it is. Good, but how, why did you move 144? You have to write that.
What?
There is none, right? There's none right there. So what we need to do is you have to move either the 144 or the 3x in order to get a relationship. Yep, but you have to write that. There you go. Yep, good.
I know.
They were supplementary like this, but your reason's wrong. So you're gonna actually need two statements here because you're gonna need to move 3x or 144 in order for there to be a relationship.
So what if it was just 3x equals 1?
But that's not right because that's this. This is the little angle over here, and 144 is the big angle.
So I was right. Yeah. Okay. Go on, bro. Yes.
I'll show you my colors.
I got a decimal.
So I need actual statements. So if you move 144, well, you can't move 144 there. We can move it on the inside. I thought you meant 3x
What's 180
to the
minus
corresponding.
184? 180
I thought you were gonna move like
36.
3x and that angle are corresponding.
So, oh, it is.
So then this could be 3x. You can move 144 wherever it's congruent, but it's not congruent to this angle. So I would write equal to parallel, and then corresponding equals are congruent, and then what's this relationship right here? Yeah, so you gotta write those two statements.
Sure.
Yes, that's right. Point. That's not a point. It's either all the way back. Yep.
Alright.
Okay.
Oh, that was pretty close, Charlie.
You should give us like 2 points for it.
Nah, that's not how it works in the game. If lines are parallel, okay, awesome. How did you move the 3x? Vertical angles are congruent. Yeah, perfect. Except I don't want this. That's not true. This is enough You just moved 3x over here, so technically there's no math under vertical angles.
Okay.
Yeah, just a statement. Yep. Point and then shot whenever you're ready, Sterling.
It'd be.
There we go. Whoop, whoop, on the board.
Does this probably be count?
Oh, okay. I can probably get that. Don't forget your congruence by the trim.
What if I make it?
Yeah.
No, I even showed it.
Nope, not a reshot.
It's okay, he was on different corresponding angles are congruent, okay, and then that's a linear pair. So it should say linear pair or stuff. I don't even need this. I just want linear pair stuff. I'll understand the rest of it. Yes, you can shoot. Write stuff and then erase the other part, but you're good to shoot.
Okay, maybe go to like 2. We'll go to 2 and then we'll be ahead. And then when we like finish the next one, we'll shoot a 5. Or when we're like.
You're our designated going up person.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm understanding
What
how
are you looking at? This one? Alright, vertical angles are congruent, so we made that. They made two angles are stuff, we do solve, and then linear pair with stuff. Great. Yeah.
What do we move on to after?
I got it. What do you mean it doesn't? If you plug that in, it doesn't work? Because when you do your math, when you get the minus the 5 to the other side of the
That's why we made 2.
You made 2, thank you, Maggie. This one, what is it, row? Okay. Yep, that's good.
Are you allowed to move?
Let's be neighbors.
Are you allowed to what?
On 7, are you allowed to move like 3x?
Yeah. Mhm. Do you make it?
What do we move on to after we finish like the big one?
When you're done with the big box, move to the top part with the triangles on the next page. If you're done with the big box, go to page 2. There you go. I didn't give you a point yet, sir, so go ahead and shoot.
Wait, so, so this?
Yep, do some triangles. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you have to do a couple things, right? So there's no relationship with those. What we need to do is we either need to move the 144 or we need to move the 3x so there is a relationship. I personally thought to move like the 3x up here using corresponding angles. So you can say if lines are parallel, corresponding angles are congruent, and then you got a linear pair. So whatever you do, I need 2 statements on how you moved it and then now how these 2 angles are related. No, the math is correct. All right, Griffin, what are we looking at? Or not Griffin, sorry, Gavin. 7, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's good. Oh, did you make it? You did?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you said I did make it at first. I was like, I thought I decided.
For this one, I'm going to take it here for 3 points, but I can't get it technically.
So you can't move the 3 there. You can move the 3 over in here, which is alternate interior, and then goes over there. The 3x, and then if I were to move it on the other side of the transversal, that would be 3x. No, that's how it relates to this one. So if I have these 2 angles are congruent, so move your 3x in here, and then these 2 are linear pair. So you moved your 3x because it was yep, that's it. Yes, very good. Oh yeah. You gotta move the goal back.
Oh, sorry.
That was pretty close, Alex.
What should I go for?
Alright, now you're
Okay,
turn.
3. I'm gonna miss, but I got 4.
Perfect. You're good, Maggie.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
All right. This math is correct. This is
the statement.
okay. No, don't hate this statement. That carries this
What?
3x over to this angle.
Oh, right.
Now, how is this angle and 144? How are those related? If like it's right in here, and then it's 44, 144. How are those two next to each other related? Yeah, but what's the name of it? Go back, ask your group.
I made
Sure, just need that statement.
it's not that.
Which one am I looking at?
7.
Okay. Vertical angle, consecutive exterior, good math, alternate exterior, yep, good, point and shot.
That go like that.
What are we looking at? Alright, good.
Where's the ball? Oh, that's actually
One.
I don't even know what section do you move
Yep,
on
good point
to
and shot.
after we're done with the box? What section do we move on to?
When you're done, go to the triangles. Ooh, close, Michael.
You could have just chucked it down there with it.
Alright, which one am I looking at? That one, right? Okay, yep. I don't need if lines are parallel though, I just want linear pair stuff. Okay, I'll give you a point, but that's the notation.
Oh.
Like, I went through and I put all the.
Yes, yes, so you did a great job going through and putting all that, I just need 2 statements on that, and that's what can get confusing.
Okay. Charlie, do you want to? I don't want to.
It's kind of.
Yeah, so show me your spots.
When you first are so, and then I worked it out. Wow. X is 14, Y is 37.
So you did alternate exterior angles are congruent for the Y, vertical angles are
I
congruent.
just do that.
Just do that.
It's kind of.
And then, okay, yeah, that's fine, that's fine.
Look at us.
I made an application.
143 and then, yep, good. I think on this one, instead of consecutive angles, I want just linear pairs or stuff, because I think that's what those two are. Yep. Let me email this to myself really quick, so I can post it online.
Yeah, but wait.
And I'll check it.
You want to go to the triangles after?
Yep, when you're done with that box, go to the triangles.
I'll treat you one.
All right, 83, yep, so you're good. I did it! 2 for Shirley.
The fact that we're still.
We love it. Yep.
Probably, I think we're lucky.
Yep,
Oh, I made 2 points right away.
I gave you 2. There it is.
Maybe
Oh, you got 5? Nice.
Oh, and we need to write a statement.
Wow, that was very cool. Oh no! I think that's our cleaning bell. We have the rest of this is due tonight, so I hope that you felt like you got a lot done. And I'm gonna post the answer key right now. Uh-huh.
Can I shoot twice?
Yeah. Anyone want a last minute check? Ooh, close, Griffin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that one I'm for sure getting it.
Oh, wait, my chair's still. Over, under. Sorry, I'll take under. Under the side. Over on the ceiling.
Say again, Griffin. Yes. Put them in the trash bag. Trash can. Not the trash bag, sorry, the trash can. All right. Here I come to spread down your desk. Can you please clean up your stuff?
Use your bowl.
Thank you. Nope. Put it in the trash. Put your balls in the trash can.
Are we doing the bonus point thing?
If you guys can put your desks about where they go, that'd be awesome. And then this is due tomorrow, and I'm literally putting it online right this second, so you have the key. Yeah, can you put it in the trash can? Thank you. We'll just leave your desk wet because I'm gonna be like throwing them down. Yeah. Okay. Here it comes. Get everything up your desk, please. I'm gonna leave them wet, so just please just leave them as they are. Oh, sorry, Griffin. Yay.
But you can buy.
Pictures. I'm so glad.
I know. I'm not wearing mine.
I don't think all the gyms are using glasses.
I forgot you had braces.
That would be pretty fun though. Charlie, really only
Not
do what?
my ear.
Oh.
The other one also give them paper towels.
Boys, so we don't have to wipe down.
No, don't wipe down your desk.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want to. Sorry, Alex.
No, you're fine.
I'm explaining you with.
Oh, that, I forgot about that grandma. Yeah, and then she ended up being my second semester. That was fun. 10 minutes. Yeah. Like, you know, it could be like well, by the time,
Yeah, maybe like next month.
yeah.
Not 2020.
I am too. Are you gonna be down there? Someone said it's like gonna be a B basement. There's like no B basement.
No B basement.
I was saying that to my friend, and she's like, yes, there is.
Because B basement is basically turned into STEM.
I think B basement, yeah, all of our classrooms that we lost will be in the STEM building.
Yeah.
or they'll be in this building and other people will go to the STEM building.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Because it's like math and science and engineering, right?
Mhm. So I think so there's like the 2 engineering classes down in the basement that I think they'll move to the STEM building, so maybe we'll have more of the basement classrooms. And then some of the science might move over there more permanently. I don't really know, I haven't seen a plan in a long time, but we're definitely not having B basement. That's like the kitchen and the cafeteria.
It's gonna be
That
so
was like the old like.
Thank you.
Yes. Bye guys, thank you. Yes, yep, that's what I've heard. Bye guys, have a great day.